Now at 11, a massive fire at the former Dixie plant in Lexington. Crews still on scene battling the flames. We're live there with the latest and the images. Plus,
before heading out on the road this holiday season, experts say there are certain ways to prepare your car so it doesn't end up here in the shop. I'm Julie Frendak. I'll tell you how you can stay prepared next.
And if you live in Winston-Salem and love Biscuitville, we've got some good news for you. Thanks for joining us on Spectrum News at 11. I'm Rob Wu, and we begin tonight with a piece of Lexington history on fire. Happening now, firefighters still on the scene of what was a massive fire. Looking at some video from a couple hours ago, this fire breaking out at the old Lexington Home Furnishings Plant 1 building in the city's Depot district. Several fire departments joining in on the effort to put this all out. They've been at it for hours now, trying to keep it all under control. Also there, our Spectrum News reporter Kristen Drummond live from the scene with the very latest. Kristen, what can you tell us?
Well, Rob, firefighters continue battling the flames here behind me in Lexington, but it appears the fire is starting to die out. We're no longer seeing heavy black smoke rising into the night sky over Lexington, but this is still very active as the fire engulfs this property behind me, creating a sight that many we spoke with say is quite a sight to see.
Pretty big fire.
It's very scary to see.
A fire lights up the night sky over Lexington.
It blew my mind, and I'm curious to know what started it.
Franklin Hegler and others stand about 150 yards away as flames engulf the former Lexington Furniture Industries plant in the Depot district, an 18-acre property owned by the city and roughly 2 blocks away from Main Street in uptown Lexington. It's also where Hegler used to work.
It's a lot of memory here. Yep, a lot of girlfriends. A lot of friends here.
Lexington Mayor Newell Clark says the fire originally started at the vacant property around 2 Tuesday morning. Crews put it out, but when they returned later to investigate the cause, the fire ignited again before 5:30 in the afternoon.
The area that we believe the fire started was near a silo.
Multiple fire departments worked together to prevent the flames spreading to other nearby businesses in the district, including Bull City Cider Works.
How big is the fire? I don't know how you measure fires, but it's very significant in my opinion.
As walls collapse and the roof caves in, Hegler and others watch the roughly 100-year-old plant go up in flames.
It is part of our history that is ablaze behind us right now.
Help us build it back. Put something here great, so Lexington can come back to be what it used to be.
Now, this property was slated to undergo renovations, with some of the buildings likely being demolished in the future. We spoke with Mayor Newell Clark, who says it's unknown at this time what will happen. They'll have to come in here tomorrow morning to figure that out. Now, as for people coming here, the crowd has slowly dwindled, but first responders are still stressing safety for anyone who wants to come out here through the night to take any photos or any pictures. And we have been told there were no injuries, fortunately, from this fire. Reporting live in Lexington, Kristen Drummond, Spectrum News on ABC 45. Rob?
Scary looking stuff. Glad everyone's okay. Kristen, thanks very much. Now turning our attention to the weather. You're going to want to keep those umbrellas handy. Here's a first check of the forecast now with meteorologist Monty Montello.
Certainly had a great day today, a mild one, highs in the 70s, but rain arriving tonight, temperatures down to around 50. We'll have periods of rain tomorrow, at least through the afternoon. Should clear out some toward the evening. Temperatures not doing much. We'll only top out around 51. And it stays cool toward the end of the week, but it warms up into the weekend. We got to look at your 7-day forecasts coming up in about 10 more minutes. Back to you.
Residents of Pilot Mountain still being urged tonight to boil their water for at least a minute before using it. The town is under a boil water advisory because of a water main break yesterday afternoon. While crews were fixing the pipes, they believe bacteria could have gone through the system. School officials among those ready to deal with this. They say it's happened before, so they acted within minutes.
We automatically put our safe water protocols in place. Cafeteria made arrangements. They know how to boil the water. They know how to take care of things. We immediately contacted our maintenance departments. They brought in bottled waters. I had my staff go out and put signs, do not use water fountains.
The town has sent samples of water to a lab for testing. They expect to know if the water is good to use by midday tomorrow. PTI Airport in Greensboro is getting a new name. The airport authority voting unanimously to change the airport's name to Central North Carolina International Airport. Board members say they were considering a number of factors, including a name that would be identifiable.
Piedmont doesn't necessarily immediately tell them where you are. There's a Piedmont in Georgia, and Virginia, and Florida, and North Carolina. So, we wanted to get something where those kind of folks would immediately know where they are.
Designing a logo and replacing all the signage is expected to take several months. The change is effective January 1st. Biscuitville is coming to Winston-Salem, a location opening on University Parkway right across from North Summit Square Shopping Center. To mark the start of construction, company representatives held a groundbreaking and dig-in today for nonprofits. Under the dirt, plenty of goodies, including a free biscuits prize for a nonprofit event. For the company's CEO, there could not be a better location for the business.
Our growth plans are to add restaurants in the Triad. Winston-Salem is a great market for us, and this will be our first location in the Stanleyville area.
The company was founded in 1966 and employs over 1,000 people and operates 54 restaurants in North Carolina and Virginia. The busiest time of the year for postal workers is here, and with a spike in online shopping, they're projecting record numbers. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day, the Postal Service expects to deliver more than 15 billion pieces of mail, including 850 million packages, a 10% increase over last holiday season. The manager of the Greensboro Distribution Center says they start preparing for this as early as July.
One of the things we'll do is we hire about an additional 100 people, 100 employees here at the plant. We obviously use additional work hours for the regular employees that work here. And we also line up additional transportation.
Today was the cutoff day to mail Christmas cards via first class. Friday is the deadline for packages if you want them to arrive by the 25th. Of course, the longer you wait, the more it'll cost. If you're one of the millions of Americans planning to hit the road over the holidays, experts say you should take some time to make sure your car is ready for the drive. Our Julie Frendak visited a repair shop to see what you should be keeping an eye out for so you don't end up stranded.
Ronnie Bridges has owned Oak Hollow Tire for the past 18 years.
I've been in the tire business 40 years. I've seen it all.
When the temperature drops, his business picks up.
With just our little snow a few weeks ago, we had probably 15 or 20 vehicles where they've slid into curbs and everything. And most of the ones who came in with problems, if they'd had good tires on their cars, they would not have had a problem.
Bridges says your tire pressure and traction should be at the top of your checklist before heading out for holiday travel.
Even if not in snow, just cold rain in the wintertime, your traction rating is not as good if you don't have good tires.
Engine oil can get thicker in the winter, so Bridges says it's also important to check that before going on a long trip. And if you're heading somewhere with freezing temperatures in the forecast.
Antifreeze is a very important part of everything to make sure that your car doesn't freeze up, because if your antifreeze is not strong enough, it can freeze with extreme cold temperatures.
For drivers like Michael Scott, the decision to make these quick checks is easy.
It's very important, because if you don't have a vehicle and it breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, ain't nobody going to stop and help you.
Taking the time before he hits the road to avoid a trip to the shop.
I fill it up with oil, gas, check everything that needs to be checked, antifreeze.
No matter where you're driving this holiday season,
just take care of your car and it'll take care of you.
In the Triad, Julie Frendak, Spectrum News.
AAA predicts more than 100 million Americans will be traveling by car, plane, or train over the next 2 weeks. Open Door Ministries in High Point opening its doors tonight for a community homeless dinner. For the agency, it's a tradition that dates back 16 years. The annual event took place at St. Mary's Episcopal Church in the Community Life Center.
My favorite part is just to have people that are here to eat and have a good time. And to have volunteers that are willing to come out the week before Christmas and generously give of their time and help serve people who may not have as much as the rest of us have, and help them enjoy having a nice meal.
There was also a memorial for 15 people in the High Point area who died homeless this year. Their names were called and candles were lit in remembrance. Some Lexington stores are seeing a boost in business this holiday season after decorating their storefronts. More than 40 businesses taking part this year in the annual window display contest. Uptown Lexington says the competition draws people in to see the festive decorations. A few shops are noticing the increase in foot traffic.
A lot of people have come in to comment on them about how cute they are and how fun it is and how great they think Lexington is doing this.
The holiday window contest winner will be announced tomorrow afternoon. First place gets a prize of $5,000.
Rain developing back to the west. That'll be moving in on Wednesday. In fact, it'll be soggy for your middle part of the week before we clear on out and cool those temperatures down into the weekend. We got to look at your 7-day forecast coming up after this break.
Did you put up flyers?
Excuse me, how much for this,
Death ray. It's $1 billion.
What?
I'm never going to make enough to cover these early termination fees for satellite. They make you sign a contract, so you got to pay hundreds of dollars just to get out of it. They don't even remove the dish.
Ridiculous.
I'll give you $4.
Put it in the jar.
I would pay twice as much for that. That was me trying to get her into a bidding war.
Termination fees are evil.
Yeah, I can use that.
Spectrum doesn't have them. Satellite TV, bad. Spectrum, good.
5 minutes a night
just doesn't cut it.
That's why Chevrolet Sports Night is on for a full half hour every night on Spectrum News.
Get intense with
it. Get more scores, more highlights, more interviews.
It's just a matter of time.
More coverage of your favorite high school, college, and professional teams. And more time to focus on your local teams. Watch Chevrolet Sports Night, nightly at 10 on Spectrum News. Exclusively on Spectrum. You're watching Spectrum News on ABC 45. Get your Spectrum News anytime. Call today.
What a day today. High temperatures into the lower 70s, but now changes on the way. We're expecting rain to arrive here as we head, especially towards sunrise. Might actually have a few showers getting going here over the next few hours, but that rain really picking up during the morning on Wednesday. It'll be around for much of the day, even into the evening before we clear on out Wednesday night. We finish up the work week dry, but much cooler temperatures on the way from the low 70s today into the 50s tomorrow, and then probably into the 40s for highs on Thursday. That rain system gathering here earlier today back across the Mississippi River Valley. And again, the leading edge of those showers should be working in here. I think we'll start off with very light rain, if any at all, until around 3 or 4 in the morning. And then those showers really spreading in by daybreak. Here's 6 o'clock in the morning, so some light to moderate rain. And then those rounds of rain will be working through into much of the day. Here at lunchtime, you can see those showers around, and I think the heaviest rain going to be south of Interstate 40. Down around the North Carolina, South Carolina line. That's where we could see the heaviest rain. And then by tomorrow evening, a lot of that rain pulling away, although we're going to remain cloudy here, damp, and we might even have some lingering light rain, mist, and drizzle as we head through the evening on Wednesday before we clear out getting into Thursday. We're thinking we could still see an inch to an inch and a half of rain. Models have been pretty consistent, showing a nice soaking here, more or less statewide for Wednesday. Temperatures in the morning won't be too bad, so it doesn't cool off a lot tonight. 51 or so for tomorrow morning, but hardly moving at all. The temperature through the day tomorrow at lunchtime, we're at 50 and then falling through the afternoon. Considerably colder here for Thursday morning, back down to near freezing. And then by lunchtime, I think we're into the 40s on Thursday with afternoon readings coming in here in the mid to upper side of the 40s. We need the moisture. Haven't seen any now for about 10, 11 days since the snow moved on through. So we're down about 3/4 of an inch for the month. We should gain all that back, I think, tomorrow, at least in most locations, especially I-40 South. 72 for the high today. What a day. 22 degrees above normal. But with the addition of rain, it will be considerably cooler, especially later in the week as high pressure builds back in. Highs Thursday, Friday only in the upper 40s, lower 50s. But by the weekend, another warm front lifting through here should raise those temperatures into the 60s Saturday. But there could be a few showers around for the weekend, but it doesn't look like a washout like tomorrow. Mountains will see rain, all rain, no snow. So that fine ski report we've been showing you for the last couple of weeks will deteriorate here in the coming days. Rain arrives later tonight. Forecast high tomorrow. Expecting 51. Rain at times, at least through late afternoon. Drying out a little in the evening. Thursday, Friday looking okay, seasonable. Some showers, but mild over the weekend as we head into Christmas Day. Temperatures cooling off a bit, but Santa looking like he should ride into town dry with partly cloudy skies and highs on Christmas Day around 53. That's your 7-day forecast. We'll send it back to you.
Plenty of action on the hardwood Tuesday, including NC State, who had their hands full with Robert Morris. Sports is after the break.
Did you put up flyers?
Excuse me, how much for this,
Death ray. It's $1 billion.
what?
I'm never going to make enough to cover these early termination fees for satellite. They make you sign a contract, so you got to pay hundreds of dollars just to get out of it. They don't even remove the dish.
Ridiculous.
I'll give you $4.
Put it in the jar.
I would pay twice as much for that. That was me trying to get her into a bidding war.
Termination fees are evil.
Yeah, I can use that.
Spectrum doesn't have them. Satellite TV, bad. Spectrum, good.
5 minutes a night
Just doesn't cut it.
That's why Chevrolet Sports Night is on for a full half hour every night on Spectrum News.
Get intense with it.
Get more scores, more highlights, more interviews.
It's just a matter of time.
More coverage of your favorite high school, college, and professional teams. And more time to focus on your local teams. Watch Chevrolet Sports Night, nightly at 10 on Spectrum News. Exclusively on Spectrum. You're watching Spectrum News on ABC 45. Get your Spectrum News anytime. Call today.
Mike Solarte joins us now with sports. And Mike, the Carolina Panthers must be feeling pretty good about themselves on this day off.
Well, yeah, because for the first day in about a week, they haven't had anything crazy happening in terms of the franchise. But normally Tuesday is a day off for the Panthers, and last couple of days, nothing off the field making big headlines. Team gets back to practice Wednesday. They face Tampa Bay. A win over the Bucs gets them into the playoffs. But why is Luke Kuechly over my shoulder? Well, Kuechly is going back to the Pro Bowl for the 5th straight season. Number 59 will represent the Panthers in the NFL's All-Star Game. Take video. He's the only Panther that's voted in. His 5 trips ties him with 5 other Panthers for most in franchise history. Panthers have averaged 6 Pro Bowlers a season since 2012. Others could go in as alternates. Per coach's film review, Kuechly's got 114 tackles this season. The Pro Bowl is in Orlando, Florida, January the 28th. Panthers also got a little bit, I guess, good news when it comes to starting linebacker Thomas Davis. Davis had his suspension for a helmet-to-helmet hit last Sunday against Devontae Adams reduced from 2 games down to 1. Now, it means the Panthers will be missing one of their defensive captains on Sunday against the Bucs, but he will be back in uniform for the season finale at Atlanta. And, of course, that game could be big with playoff implications. All right, ACC basketball, NC State on the home floor taking on Robert Morris, and Bobby Moe came to play. What do I mean by it? Look at where Matty McConnell is hoisting that 3 from. He had 17, Robert Morris up 39-36 at the break. But the Pack, they chip away. Tie game, 7:20 to go. Amir Yurtseven, 2 of his 12 points go along with 10 boards. 3 Woofies with a double-double in this night. VAR bets the drive off the glass, lead now 7. Pack start to stretch it. Abdul Malik Abu, the cherry on the Sunday. Finishing lob, he had 15. Wolfpack win it 81-69. UNCG looking to continue their momentum after they topped NC State over the weekend, hosting UNC Asheville. Spartans up by 12 at the half, trying to put it away. Jordy Kuiper in for the 2-handed flush, 47-39 at that point. Dogs, though, they keep barking. Maceo Teague hits the 3, and it's just a 3-point UNCG lead at that point. Francis Alonso trying to stretch it back out. UNCG up 6, he had 12. But Teague taking it to the cup, he had 25. The Bulldogs outscore the Spartans 34-15 in the second half. And they win it 67-60. One more stop, Elon on the road taking on Canisius. Picked this one up late, and it was kind of out of hand when we picked it up late. Canisius getting the 3 here from Takal Molson. He had 11. Elon unable to stay with the Golden Griffins on this night. Nathan Pretty was trying. Elon gets 13 from Brian Dawkins. It is not enough as Canisius wins it 67-51. One other note that we didn't bring you in this sportscast is that Sylvia Hatchell, Tar Heel women's basketball coach, 1,000 career victory. She got it on Tuesday as the Lady Heels beat Grambling State down in Myrtle Beach. So only 5 coaches now all time, men or women, have 1,000 wins. Can you name them, Rob?
Bobby Knight, he's got to be one of them, right?
No, he's not. It's
Mike
Coach
Krzyzewski's got to be one of them.
Mike Krzyzewski,
Jim
Tara
Boeheim?
Vanderveer.
Well, they took some away from him, though.
Yeah, hold on a second. It's Mike Krzyzewski, Tara Vanderveer, Pat Summit, and now you have Gino Auriemma, who won his 1,000th game tonight as well. So now there's 5 that have officially 1,000 wins. I know you mentioned Boeheim, who has 1,013, but the NCAA has something to do with that, so he's not on the list.
Yes, many more to come for Boeheim and Coach Hatchell as well. All right, Mike.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Thanks very much. When we come back, this Sampson County first grader thought he was just waiting for a school assembly to start, but little did he know someone special would be taking the stage, the big surprise for this little boy.
Did you put up flyers?
Excuse me, how much for this,
Death ray. It's $1 billion.
what?
I'm never going to make enough to cover these early termination fees for satellite. They make you sign a contract, so you got to pay hundreds of dollars just to get out of it. They don't even remove the dish.
Ridiculous.
I'll give you $4.
Put it in the jar.
I would pay twice as much for that. That was me trying to get her into a bidding war.
Termination fees are evil.
Yeah, I can use that.
Spectrum doesn't have them. Satellite TV, bad. Spectrum, good.
5 minutes a night
Just doesn't cut it.
That's why Chevrolet Sports Night is on for a full half hour every night on Spectrum News.
Get intense with
Get more scores, more highlights, more interviews.
It's just a matter of time.
More coverage of your favorite high school, college, and professional teams. And more time to focus on your local teams. Watch Chevrolet Sports Night, nightly at 10 on Spectrum News. Exclusively on Spectrum. You're watching Spectrum News on ABC 45. Get your Spectrum News anytime. Call today.
I'll be home for Christmas. The words every child with a father or mother serving overseas longs to hear. But little Elijah Torres didn't think that was a reality this holiday. Our Spectrum News reporter Madison Cavalcari takes us to the surprise homecoming.
First grader Elijah Torres thinks it's a normal day at Plainview Elementary School in Dunn. He's anxiously awaiting a school assembly, a special soldier presenting an American flag during a ceremony.
First grader Elijah Torres!
When he was chosen to come up on stage, Elijah thought it was his lucky day, meeting someone brave like his dad. But even better, after nearly a year, Elijah got the real thing.
Building Lego sets and playing Xbox.
And after 7 deployments, Mom Alexis Torres says it's not about all the memories missed, but the memories in the making.
We have to cherish each time we have with each other, whether it's on FaceTime, whether it's reading an email, whether it's receiving a card. It doesn't matter. If it's time between us as a family unit, we have to cherish that.
To help explain deployment to young Elijah, they pretend Black Hawk pilot and dad, David Torres, is on the Transformers team, away defeating the Decepticons.
Elijah has done so well with staying so strong and understanding that his dad is really doing something so noble, so honorable, and something that so many other families are going through.
Reporting in Dunn.
It's a great feeling. It's family. That's all this was all about.
Madison Cavalcari, Spectrum News.
And here's another surprise. Universal Studios is sending the Torres family to Florida the day after Christmas to meet the Transformers in person. All right, when we come back, 4 boys missing from Alabama found in North Carolina who they were with after the break.
For years, Spectrum has been helping create safe and healthy homes for those in need. By engaging employee volunteers, we perform critical home repairs so families can live in their homes without worry. Our dedication to providing renovations, accessibility, safety, and energy-efficient upgrades is unwavering because helping others is rooted in our commitment to the communities we live in and serve.
I thank them so much.
Learn how you can get involved at SpectrumHousingAssist.com.
Thank you for starting your morning with us right here on Spectrum News.
Start your day off right with Spectrum News in the morning.
The information you need. That's the weather, that's the traffic, that's what's happening in our communities.
Our day begins long before the sun comes up.
We really work hard around the clock here. Some of us waking up very early to get you the important information that maybe you missed overnight.
Start your morning with Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum.
The one thing I love about politics is it impacts every part of our lives, whether it's teacher pay or taxes, what impacts the money in your wallet. I think what separates us is our expertise and our experience. When something's happening behind closed doors, we know about it. It is more important than ever for us to be here covering these stories and keeping tabs on government.
Rain or shine, turn to Spectrum News for weather on the ones and get weather updates every 10 minutes. See what's coming your way and how to plan your day. Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum.
Welcome back. 4 young boys from Alabama who have been missing since December 8th were found safe in North Carolina. The FBI contacting the Morganton Department of Public Safety this morning about the non-custodial parents planning to turn themselves in. Eugene Simmons and Carissa Cummings were arrested just before 2 a.m. Their children, ages 1, 4, 5, and 11, were found at this home just north of Morganton, staying with Simmons' mother. Officials have been looking for them since they were taken from their grandmother's home without her knowledge.
Absolutely, is a unfortunate story. Originally, when I heard it, thinking we didn't know what had happened to them, and when the 2 parents showed up here, we were sort of relieved because we knew that the kids were okay once we found out where they were at.
Simmons and Cummings will be in Burke County Court tomorrow morning for an extradition hearing. North Carolina DOT officials are monitoring the deadly Amtrak accident out of Washington State. Yesterday, a train derailed, killing at least 3 people and injuring more than 70 others. NCDOT officials say they've put safety measures in place to prevent similar accidents. Those include upgrading road rail crossings and creating a strict inspection process. Despite what happened, passengers here tell us it's full speed ahead for them.
I felt comforted here. I'm thinking that we wouldn't really experience a derailment with all of the improvements that they've been trying to do here in the area.
Investigators are looking into whether the engineer was distracted before the train derailed. The NTSB says the train was going 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone as it entered a curve. The train was on its first trip along a new bypass route designed to speed up service. A Raleigh business owner is searching for a real-life Grinch who stole some of his holiday displays. The Great Raleigh Trolley Holiday Lights Tour makes a stop at the North Pole set up in downtown Raleigh. But last night they discovered everything didn't look right. Our Spectrum News reporter Amy Elliott has a story.
The Great Raleigh Trolley has only been in business since September, meaning this Holiday Lights Tour is their first.
Every day at 5:30 we start loading up families and people on dates and everything, take them out to go look at these awesome light displays, and then we always bring them back here to the North Pole.
But on Monday night they found themselves in a situation best described as the song goes, stink, stink, stunk.
We realized that the North Pole is a little dimmer than it used to be. It turned out that dozens of our displays have been stolen overnight.
A real-life Grinch stole more than $1,000 worth of decorations at their North Pole holiday celebration spot on Boylan Avenue.
Just ripped them out, ripped them off their anchors, ripped down our lights, and really made a mess of things.
Medford says they are checking in the area to determine if any security cameras exist. In the meantime, they hope to keep spreading Christmas cheer.
At the end of the day, they may take our Christmas decorations, but they're never going to steal the magic of Christmas from the North Pole. So we're going to be back and we're going to be even bigger, and we're going to do something good with this.
Good indeed. They plan to host a toy drive in the future, and that's joy the Grinch just can't touch. In Raleigh, Amy Elliott, Spectrum News.
To keep yourself safe from holiday theft, law enforcement suggests not leaving boxes on your front porch. They also suggest making sure your doors are locked and that a light is left on the home or inside the home when you're not around. For the first time in more than 3 decades, the U.S. House approves a tax overhaul plan, but there will have to be a new vote tomorrow. 3 provisions inside it violate Senate rules. Those have to be removed, forcing a revote in the House. The $1.5 trillion bill represents the first major victory or legislative victory for President Donald Trump. He says the plan will give tax cuts for businesses, the wealthy, and more modest cuts for middle and low-income families. It also preserves 7 tax brackets, nearly doubles the standard deduction. Now the Senate is still debating the bill. They're still expected to vote on it sometime tonight. All right, one more break to go. Then meteorologist Monty Montello has your final look at weather. We'll be right back.
Always on for you. Spectrum News. From breaking news to weather every 10 minutes.
Mostly sunny skies for today. We'll be watching a cold front, though, approaching from the south and west.
To the latest from the Capitol.
A vote is underway right now.
To your town hall. And behind-the-scenes access to your favorite teams.
Wake Forest outgained Florida State by 100 yards of total offense.
We bring you news when you want it.
And I'll have that story for you next.
For local news 24/7, watch Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum.
If you're looking for a job where you play an important role in your company and work in a supportive team environment, join Spectrum today. As a customer service representative, you'll represent the nation's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice company and help bring Spectrum services to the communities we serve. We offer a competitive salary, best-in-class benefits, complimentary services, paid training, and excellent opportunities for growth and advancement. Interested? Go to jobs.spectrum.com today.
Sundays, Spectrum News presents In Focus with Loretta Beniti. A new half-hour show digging into the critical issues impacting our state, where decision makers come together and examine what matters to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Loretta Beniti, Sunday mornings at 11:30 and again at 8:30 on Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum. Rain or shine, turn to Spectrum News for weather on the ones and get weather updates every 10 minutes. See what's coming your way and how to plan your day. Spectrum News, exclusively on Spectrum.
Google Chrome is doing something about those annoying ads you run into online. Starting in February, the web browser will block full-page pop-ups and autoplay video ads, among others. Ads will also need to meet standards set forth by the Coalition for Better Ads, an industry group. Offending sites will need to remove all flagged ads before they can appeal to Google. Actress Meryl Streep says she was hurt by claims she helped silence allegations against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. Fellow actress Rose McGowan mocked Streep for her plans to participate in a silent protest at next month's Golden Globes. McGowan, one of several actresses who have accused Weinstein of sexual misconduct. She says Streep had no problem working with him despite his actions, but in a letter, Streep says she didn't know about his behavior. And finally tonight, the actor who played Puck on the TV series Glee has pleaded guilty to possessing child pornography. Investigators say they found 25,000 explicit images and 600 videos on Mark Salling's computers and thumb drives. Salling reportedly struck a plea deal that will see him spend up to 7 years in prison. He'll then have to register as a sex offender and be under supervised release for another 20 years. All right, now let's get a final look at the forecast with meteorologist Monty Montello.
Umbrellas will be needed later tonight and for much of Wednesday. Rain will be arriving well after midnight, around for much of the day tomorrow with some pockets of heavy rain, especially along and south of Interstate 40. Highs much cooler than today, around 51. Does dry out Thursday, Friday, but temperatures will stay on the cooler side through the end of the week. We'll send it back to you.
Monty, thanks. And that does it for us for now. Thanks for joining us. Jimmy Kimmel Live is next. His guests, the cast of the hottest movie in America right now, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And don't forget, Spectrum News is available around the clock and on your schedule. Have a great night. We'll see you back here Wednesday.